which ended in shocking fashion Saturday night. You could pretty much watch the entire fight on, I'm sure it's available on YouTube at this point because it ended so quickly. Near the end of the first round, McGregor stepped back to plant his foot, but his leg buckled and he ended up breaking his lower leg. The fight was called and Poirier was named the winner by TKO for doctor's stoppage. And then McGregor was eventually taken out of the ring on the stretcher. He was in the ring for what felt like an abnormally long time to have a broken leg. So I don't know if it was pure adrenaline that was keeping him from being in agonizing pain. Luckily, I've never broken a bone, but I hear it's unpleasant. So he was just down there doing interviews and immediately talking about the next fight. But Dana White said that Conor's, when healthy, going to fight the fourth fight between him and Poirier. He had successful surgery on Sunday. He posted a video on Instagram. McGregor did, saying he feels better. He'll be on crutches for 6 weeks and that he plans to come back better than ever. I watched the fight. It was a very bad first round for McGregor. Now, it's really hard to say how the rest of the fight would go because, as we know in UFC, one bad turn, it's lights out. So I really don't know if I could predict how this fight would have gone. But if it went the way that the first round went, McGregor was going to lose this fight.
Well, so listen, I actually want to focus most of the time on something else you said, but quickly on McGregor. We don't need to see a part 4 of this. Poirier said he's not interested in a part 4. Now, I think McGregor probably will have one more huge money fight in him because he's such a draw. Diaz probably get 2 million pay-per-view buys, I hear from people who know these types of things. But McGregor as a top-level championship contender, that's probably done, right? That's probably over.
Yes. I mean, it's felt that way for a while. Now, the draw that he brings, the way that he's able to sell a fight, and when he can stay in the fight, it is always going to be a thrilling matchup because he has such a unique style when he is fighting at a high level. But it just, I mean, Poirier handled him so easily in that first round. For the fight to end that way, it's starting to feel like we're not going to get another high-level fight out of McGregor. What sucks for everyone is the fans, a sold-out crowd. It's a highly anticipated fight because it's McGregor-Poirier 3, and then it ends that way, so it feels...
And it's over that quick.
It was very anticlimactic, yes. And there's nothing you could do about it.
More importantly, what's not anticlimactic is this. You've never broken a bone? You played sports at a high level.
Knock on wood. I tore an ACL. So, I don't know. I can't compare it, but that's
an odd thing. I shouldn't say odd thing. That also happens to young women at a far higher rate than happens to young men. Neither here nor there. Just quickly, if you'd like to know, you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you. Cracked my skull twice. Broke both my collarbones, including this one, twice. Broke my hand, broke my arm, got 42 stitches in my leg when I shook up a glass Coke bottle and threw it on the ground and almost severed my foot. Got 6 stitches in my arm, 9 in my eye, 6 in my finger when I tried to juggle a broken root beer bottle after I saw it on Dave Letterman. There's one I'm leaving out. All those things have happened to me.
All right, Mr. Glass.
That's a true story.
I believe...
No, I was just in the mean streets of Kansas City.
It sounds like you're doing entirely too much.
Skull cracked as a baby. My sister hit me with a rolling pin. Luckily, I'm alive. Attempted murder.
I cut my face. My scar isn't bad, but I cut my face trying to dance to Michael Jackson in the living room and hit the coffee table and had to get stitches in my face. But not doing all that.
Okay,
Sounds like you're doing a lot.
We can discuss this more later.
Yeah.
Stitches in the face.
Team USA did not get off to a good start on their quest for Olympic gold, their first exhibition game. Nigeria stunned the U.S. team with a 90-87 win. They came back from a 10-point deficit and scored 20 three-pointers in the upset. This is only the third exhibition loss Team USA has had since professionals started playing in 1992. So there was a pretty interesting reaction on social media to this loss, but that's actually a very interesting fact that this is only the third exhibition loss. Now, I'm sure they'll bounce back, but Greg Popovich said after the game he's kind of glad it happened because he expects the team to learn from it, and Jason Tatum said they're all still learning how to play with each other.
I heard friend of the show, Kevin O'Connor, kind of calmed. He was on with Bill Simmons talking about this, and Bill was a little freaked out, and Kevin calmed him down a bit. Said, listen, the U.S. is still going to win the gold. U.S. is still going to win the gold. But, Joy, you know what my takeaway for this is? That's now 3 straight losses for KD. It's tough, man. It was this close.
I walked into that. I deserve that. I walked into that one. I didn't see. I should have seen that one coming from very far away. Yeah, Team USA is favored.
Use this story.
Team USA is favored. They will win the gold. But I do think this will make for, if we're taking anything from it, that they're still looking, with more competitive balance, and we'll have some better games and not so many blowouts. So the Packers are due to report to training camp on July 27th. That's the next big date to pay attention to for Aaron Rodgers. There's still no word on if he plans on joining the team at that time, and over the weekend he was asked about his future plans again.
You're one of the most popular players in your sport. Everybody wants to know what your plans are for 2021. What are you going to do?
I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this week, and then I'm going to get back to working out and figure things out in a couple weeks.
Thanks for your time, Aaron.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Gorgeous backdrop there. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be at training camp. That's what I believe at this point. Colin and I talked about it last week. I don't know if you saw, but Colin had a very interesting theory, as he always does, that they wouldn't be asking him or joking with him at the match. I think you guys talked about this. They wouldn't be joking with him about the match, about coming back to the Packers or having issues with his boss if it was something that was really, truly going to upset him, because he would have, at the beginning of all of those interviews, said, don't ask me about it. Don't bring it up. It's very sensitive. And they wouldn't have done it, because for what? Like, who's going to actually take a jab at him during a charity golf tournament that he's taking his time to do if it's really a serious situation? So I think he's going to be at training camp.
I do too at this point. There was a point in time where I thought he was going to make it uncomfortable and force his way out. He chose not to play that card. Instead, I think he is simply setting the expectation for Packer fans to understand, this is my last year. He'll show up this year, they'll play, and then they won't be crestfallen and emotionally ruined when, after this upcoming season, no matter how it goes, that he asks for them to move on. Like, to me, that's what's happening here.
Yes, it feels like the parents staying together until the kids get to college. That's what it feels like at this point. Like, he's set the tone. There are some very serious cracks in the relationship. The fans now have been desensitized to the idea of him not being there, and he's not going to be there next season. But in order for this to happen this season, it would have had to have been very explosive. There would have been a lot of money left on the table. The Packers would have been in a bad situation. It would probably have soiled his reputation with the Packers fan base for the rest of his life. So I think this is what's going to end up happening. It'll be a training camp. And also, what's the value of not being at training camp? Like, obviously the money he's going to lose from not being at training camp is nothing to him, but if he's going to play this year, why wouldn't you want to be with your teammates in that spot?
You want to give yourself the best chance.
Exactly.
Right. You want to give your team the best chance. If you're going to be there, you don't want to mail in, put your team behind the 8 ball. So it's not like the optional off-season stuff. Training camp's different. I agree with you. I think he'll be there. There is joy with the news. All right, as I am.
That's the news.
And thanks for stopping.